Well, hello, thank you. My name is Brianna Inkster, and I do live here in St. Cloud, and I am a very proud mother of 3 beautiful children, 3 beautiful daughters. And I just first want to thank both of you for coming and taking the time to be able to hear our very personal stories. All of us here just want to be, just not viewed as just as a citizen, but as a real person who is looking to each and every one of you to be our voice and help represent our needs, not some agenda or your own personal convictions. But as you know, how education affects each and every one of us in every way. We are very aware that there is no quick fix to our education. However, there is no money, no staff, and no equipment left for you to cut. As a parent, I see the teachers running on bare bones. I see the case managers, they're juggling too many children on their caseloads. The classes don't have enough seats, and schools have to take out loans because the state lawmakers have decided to give them an IOU. We realize that when you go back to the Capitol and you begin to tackle our enormously troubled education system, that you have a very heavy burden to carry. But please remember that each and every decision that you make affects each of us in some way. I am a voice. I am one voice for my family and for my daughter and for her future, and this is her story. Up ahead there we have a picture of my daughter Kaya. She is 10 and a half, and that half part of course is very, very important. She's a twin and a big sister. She is obsessed with art. She's a mammoth reader. She's a very dedicated friend, an acute learner. She's exceedingly bright, and she's a giggler. You have to look very hard on the very first glance to see that she wears leg braces, has 2 feeding tubes, a permanent IV, and scars from countless surgeries. And if you really got to know her, you might learn that she has had a stroke, her digestive system is paralyzed, she can't fight infections, and she has a rare Parkinson's disease. Behind all that chronic illness is a very, very sweet little girl who misses an average of 75 school days a year. She's in her 5th grade class less than 50% of the time, yet exceeds standards by leaps and bounds with every test that she's given. And so many people always ask us, how does she do it? Well, as we discussed earlier from other people, our bread and butter is an IEP. That is her educational plan. It allows my daughter, even with a multitude of disabilities, to have the same and equal education as her peers. It is the current special education laws that are on the books that help to protect her rights, and so that she can receive the same learning opportunities as each and every other student in our state receives. As her mother, I am very concerned that these laws protecting her rights in education might be in jeopardy. I've been involved in the special education system not only as a volunteer committee member, but as a parent and an advocate now for almost 10 years. I first began my service on the IEIC, which is the Interagency Early Intervention Committee, and for 4 years while my daughter was receiving childhood services. This was very integral in my learning of the laws and that whole special education web, and also all of the other services through the Health and Human Services that are offered for children with disabilities. I learned very quickly that I would have to fight for every service, if it be medical or educational, and every need, if it's getting a nurse to help her in the bathroom at school, to getting a parent to help her with her classwork. Since then, I have been on the St. Cloud School District 742 Special Education Advisory Council for 5 years. This is my only seat at the table and my only way of knowing what is happening behind closed doors on decision-making for Kaya's education. Both of these committees were created for us parents to be part of the collaboration of facilitating our children's education. Taking away our seat at the table will not only cut my daughter's voice, but also any parent involvement. It is already hard enough for us to fight against a system that is overburdened with too little staff and is continuously receiving the short end of the stick of the funds. But to cut off the parents' ability to be part of the decision-making is very concerning about our own child is appalling. These committees are just 2 of the many things that should not be eliminated from the books. I can sit here and can speak of countless other laws that protect my daughter, like assistive technology, as you heard earlier from Shelby, my daughter's due process rights, transitioning training for her school support staff, and the list goes on and on. But parents, Those like me who are receiving the services that you are wanting to change or even possibly eliminate should have a seat at your table and be a part of this conversation. We walk in these shoes every day, live and breathe all of these services. Please ask us what we need, what our children need. I am a voice, and I'm a voice for my daughter, and a voice for so many of the parents like me who couldn't be here today. Please do not take away our ability, our right to be part of the decision for our children and sit on these committees. So come February, when you're at the table making the decisions, please remember that picture of that cute little blonde girl that you saw at some meeting, that this is my little girl that someday will be your grandkid's teacher, might possibly be your pet's veterinarian, or that scientist that helped create that medicine that you are taking. Her education, special ed or not, should be first and foremost. You are at the Capitol for us and for our children, so be the right voice and be our voice.